The PA Empowerment Network is a game changer, uniting individuals with shared goals to support and uplift each other, providing resources, mentorship, and a sense of community. Empowering people means giving them the tools and confidence to thrive and create positive change in their lives and communities.
Good evening. How you guys doing? My name is Kendall Stevenson. This is the Empowerment Show, and I am the host. This evening, I have a young lady here. Her name is Tarah Probst. Hello, Tarah Probst. How you feeling?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. Tarah Probst is a state representative, and if you look at the marquee, she's so many more things than that. I've gotten the opportunity to meet her a few years ago, and I was very glad to meet her. I think she's a wonderful person, and the thing that I like the most is that she is for real. That's what I like about people most, is that they're for real. She's a politician, and she's down in Harrisburg fighting for us on a regular basis. So, Tara, what do you think our situation here in Pennsylvania is right now with this big better bill?
Well, it's definitely not the big beautiful bill. I call it the big bag of bullshit, Kendall. It's all
Okay, wait. You know, on this show we have a little coin jar over here for when you do that. So, okay, it's in there.
for potty mouths, right? No, it's not good at all.
I don't know why he's barking, Mill. He's
It's not.
barking.
It's not good at all for Pennsylvania. Number one, a lot of the changes that are in this bill, they don't plan on doing until December of 2026, which means the midterms are over, because they don't want people to feel the hurt before the midterm, because then they won't get reelected. Some of the things that it does, let's just start off number one with education. Defunding public education. Number two, making it so that the guaranteed student loans that a lot of people utilize to go to college, to go to med school, to go to law school, to basically just, further their education, they're putting a limit on it to $100,000. Now, that's okay if you come from money or you've got a wealthy family. That is not okay if you grew up like me, or if you grew up like a middle class, kid, or even upper middle class. And what they say is you could get private loans. Well, private loans have higher interest rates,
Right.
and nobody is going to give a loan to a person who's not working and going to school. So it's just a way to separate the wealth, making sure that, as they say, it pull up by your bootstraps, right? Well, you're not affording that opportunity to those that don't have. And that's exactly, people don't know this. That is in that bill. Another thing that's in that bill is defunding completely Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is health care for women. It has Medicaid patients. Planned Parenthood in Stroudsburg, before they closed it in 2017, and they had to close it because the state stopped funding it, serviced over 4,000 local families, men and women, breast care screenings, just basic healthcare needs, family planning. Planned Parenthood is healthcare, and it's women and men's healthcare. I know it's primarily women, but they do help men as well. That is completely defunded. I don't know about you, but it's hotter in the Poconos than it's ever been before. I am born and raised here. I'm a fifth generation person. We'd have heat waves back when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s. It would maybe hit 90 degrees. It was the high 80s. It was 3 days, and that was your heat wave. Climate change is real. It's every day I'm looking at it and I'm living it. Even being at the beach, the water was really, really warm for this time of year. They don't believe in any of that. It's basically Project 2025 into the big, beautiful bill. But again, the deceitfulness that they don't want to do, and cutting listen, they're cutting Medicaid out of this bill. And they're going to say, oh, it's only for able-bodied people. Do you know that to get on Medicaid, you go through a series of interviews? You have to renew it year after year. We already do that. And I'll tell you, an able-bodied person that can't work, an able-bodied person that's taking care of a dependent, that may have, mental or physical disabilities. It could be your parent, it could be your child, and you must stay home and take care of them because you can't afford to send them somewhere. And maybe you don't want to because they're your loved one. You're
Mhm.
able-bodied. So are you going to get kicked off of your Medicaid, even though you're working 24/7? Or how about in schools? If you have a child that needs support, it's called a TSS worker, or they need different types of services in your school district. Because private insurances don't cover it, the child would go on Medicaid to be able to get these services. It's a nightmare to get now. And to have to renew that for that child every year, there's going to be problems. And I mean, it affects every one of us and it affects people that we know. How many people, Kendall, do you know that are able bodied and they may have, psychological issues? They're able bodied, but
Well, that
there's,
was the question that I had for you. I'm like, who makes a determination as who's able-bodied and who's not able-bodied?
thank
Who
you.
makes that determination?
Thank you. We already do that. We already
Right.
do that. And instead they're saying, well, what you do isn't good enough and you're kicked off. And then they keep saying, oh, and illegals, they're getting health insurance and they're getting this. No, they are not. Ukrainian refugees that came over did get health insurance. They were refugees from a country at war.
Hmm.
But we're not giving illegal aliens anything. They don't, a lot of these illegal aliens are actually working, paying taxes into our system, and will never ever get that money back, can never ever get one benefit of workers' compensation, of Social Security, of any of that. It's all bogus lies. It's propaganda and it's lies, and it's what they do. And if the fact of the matter is that they're not even going to enact any of this until December of 2026, 1 month after the midterms, should tell you, what are they so afraid of? If it's such a big, beautiful bill, then do it right now. But they know it's going to hurt, from kids to the elderly, to veterans, to working families, to people with disabilities. It's going to hurt each and every one of us in one way or another. So if it's so big and bright and beautiful, they would have started it now, not waiting till after the midterms, because
Right.
they know that if they did, they'd lose. And it's propaganda, and I have had it.
Right. And if he actually wanted to follow the law, he'd have to deport himself. and his wife.
And his wife and his
And his
kid. His
children.
kid
Yeah,
wouldn't have birthright
right,
citizenship.
right, right.
And also just the things that they're trying to do, they're trying to take away, they're trying to like erase history. So anything that we're doing right now with, Black culture, or anything that has to do with, DEI is not just sexual orientation or the LGBTQ community. DEI is for people of different walks of life, different colors of their skin, different religions, disabilities. It's inclusion. And they're taking this away. It's like they want the wealthy to breed and just keep getting richer and richer, and the rest of us to just be at the bottom. It's a king.
I'll tell you, this is what they do. It's like, I was talking to my brother yesterday, and I was telling him it's divide and conquer. You see,
Mhm.
they'll put me against you, and they'll put the poor people against the Black people, and so this way, it's like a distraction from what they're actually doing, because
And
they're like robin barons. They're taking from the poor to make the rich richer.
yes, and
It's like, what do we have? 83 billionaires in this country, and everything that we seem to be doing is to better them
right.
and not ourselves. And I've spent time in the military. I'm a veteran, and they're still talking about they want to take more benefits away from the veterans. They don't
They
want to. They
know.
don't want to fund education. So what happens when they defund education? What happens when they roll back these regulations? We were just talking about the weather being so hot. This guy's rolling back regulation after regulation. Are we going to drive through Jersey like we did years ago, and you had these big clouds of smoke and it smelled disgusting? Is that what we're looking for?
Well, he doesn't care. He just doesn't care. Money is the bottom line, and that's all that matters to him. And um when they say, well, he's a successful businessman and this is all going to work out, tell me how he's successful. He literally claimed bankruptcy 6 times. He owes over $900 million to the United States government for taxes. He's not allowed to have an organization anymore, of charitable organization, because of taking funds from it. He made his money on The Apprentice as a TV host. That's what he made his money on. And now he's like ripping off the American people. He's selling Trump sneakers, Trump coins, Trump Bibles. It's a joke. I mean, remember
What was
Trump
it, the
University?
amalgamated clause or something like that? He's not supposed to be making or earning this kind of money
He's
while
not
he's in
allowed.
office.
He violates the Constitution on a daily basis. And I'm sorry, but the people that are bowing down to him like their job more than they like what's doing right. And I've had it. I would rather never be elected again than to bow down to a king and not vote the way my constituents want me to vote and do what's right by the people, not for the big. I don't work for private equity firms. I work for people. And that's what Congress was elected to do. And it's just gross to watch the way that they behave around him. He's absolutely appalling. And I feel very bad for the younger generation because they think that the way he acts as president is actually normal. And it's not. It's not. I try telling that to my 18-year-old. I'm like, Hunter, this is all you've ever known. And it's not normal. And this is not, he's not following the Constitution. You don't behave like that. You don't do things like this. And he's untouchable. It's like he's above the law. And it's.
Well, he already said he loved the poorly educated. So he doesn't want to have his constituents or people that are behind. He don't want them to be educated, because if they become educated, they'll probably, I don't know, kick him out of office. Or maybe take him outside and they'll do other things to him. They definitely wouldn't have voted him into office, because he's not qualified. When he was on television, he was asked about the Constitution. Did you hear that one where he was asked about what it meant? And he said it meant love and joy and togetherness. So he didn't even know what the Constitution meant. He had no idea what it meant. I mean, the man is when they talk about cognizance, I don't understand it, because they talked about Joe Biden and the way he was a little slower, or he had this mental issue and that he shouldn't be president. I listen to Donald Trump, and he's bad. He's horrible.
Always.
He's horrible. He's truly horrible.
Always.
His pronunciation of words, his slurred speech, he's horrible. He is.
He is. And even without the personal attacks on him and his person, he's a horrible human being, period. He's a horrible human being. He does not care about any of his supporters. He cares about himself and his family, and that is it. And it's really, really, it's really sad. And the people that voted for him are going to see some issues in the future when it comes to, the price of goods, especially with the tariffs being up and down and everything else. They're going to see issues when they lose their health insurance and their SNAP benefits, and their public school systems, are failing. And it's just really a horrible situation that we're in. Now let's move on to Pennsylvania, because that's all I can do about it. I can vote in a federal election, but in Pennsylvania, we in the House of Representatives, which has a one-person Democratic majority, pass bills to hold Medicaid tight, pass bills to help SNAP, pass bills for, pregnant moms to go home with blood pressure gauges and medications. And we're doing everything we can to make sure that our healthcare system in Pennsylvania, it's not the best, but we're trying to keep everything we have and trying to improve on it. We passed a bill to raise the minimum wage. We passed bills to fund public schools. We passed bills to fund higher education, so that kids like me, who had 3 older brothers, lived with my mom and my grandmother. My grandmother was a maid with a 7th grade education. My mom was a waitress with an 11th grade education. We moved 11 times in the borough of East Stroudsburg when I was growing up because rents would go up. She couldn't afford it. And if it wasn't for public education, and if it wasn't for programs, and it wasn't for sidewalks and parks and, clean air, I would just wouldn't be where I am today. And neither would my brothers. And of course, you got to have a lot of love there, which we had, and we were very lucky. But the point is the dream would be impossible for a kid like me growing up.
Okay, we're gonna take a little quick break because I got to show a little something, something. This is how we do. We have to pay our bills. So I just
Denzel,
thought,
do not look like that tonight.
oh man, you got to see this woman. This woman, I don't know why she does this to herself because look at her. Okay, so like I said, we got to take a little break, got to pay the bills, and we'll be right back.
Hi, we're Chantel Davis and Brian Davis. We own Willie Mays Place and Legacy Mines Winery located in Gilbert, Pennsylvania. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner and wine flights and really delicious Southern comfort food. Come and join us. We'll happily seat you, your family. We have a beautiful farm-to-table garden as well as 2 therapy donkeys named Freedom and Friar Tuck that you're welcome to come and visit. Give us a call if you have any questions or would like to make a reservation, and we look forward to seeing you.
Their food is awesome, by the way.
Oh, it is. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Let me tell you something. I go by and they get me the fish and the grits.
Yeah.
And they put the cheese in it. I'm a fish and grits guy.
Yeah.
Especially catfish. I love my catfish, but they put that with the grits and they put the cheese. Oh, I'm in heaven. I'm in awe.
And
I try to stop
nice.
by there at least once a month. I try to go through there, pick myself up a little something.
Oh, that's really nice.
Oh, it's delicious with the dinner. But they're gonna have some cuts, or potentially they're gonna have some cuts to Medicare. And in this state, they're looking to maybe it's gonna affect over 300,000 people in this country, in this state right here.
Between Medicare and Medicaid, yeah.
Yeah, that's a horrible thing. And how are we gonna? Without the funding from the federal government, how are we going to manage this? Because a lot of people are not going to be able to get the Medicare.
Well, what needs to be done is we need to win the midterms and stop this big, beautiful bill. Mm-hmm. And, I just can't believe, like, even my own Congressman Rob Bresnahan, he beat Matt Cartwright this last fall, promised he would never do any of this, promised he wouldn't do what they do in Washington. And number one, he made a ton of money off of his stock trades, right? That was big news. And he voted for the big, beautiful bill to cut the funding. And it's just like, he just lied to everybody's face. And it's horrible. I don't like it.
Well, that seems to be the theme of the Republican Party. Lie, 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 and lie, lie, lie some more. And then when you finish lying and you get caught up in a lie, you have to sit in front of the hearing. Instead of lying, you sit there and say, I don't know. Yeah, you ever check out Robert F. Kennedy when they ask him questions about different bills or things that have been implemented or why people have been fired from different positions? And he'll go, I don't know. I haven't seen that. He'll ask, well, where did you see it at? And he doesn't know. Well, the same thing with this woman, what's her name? Bondi. Pam Bondi. She's something else too. Or the other one, Linda McLean. Yeah. She's something else too. I'm telling you, those people are something else.
I think the difference is someone like Matt Cartwright, who was a super lawyer, trial lawyer, very successful, was well known in his community, and that's he won, and he campaigned hard. I mean, he was there for 14 years. I think that they took a guy who came from a family with money and said, here's our younger male, decent looking, younger, that's going to be our guy because he can win. And I think he made these promises like, I would never do that, da 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 da. And then he got to Washington, and I think he just likes it. And rather than disappointing, the party and the president, he would rather disappoint the people that he represents, and because he likes his job more than his commitment to do what's right. Mm-hmm. And that really bothers me. And that's why I would love term limits. If you have term limits, people are always going to do the right things.
You're right. And we should have some term limit, especially when it comes to those. I think the Supreme Court the judges, I think they should have term limits. Congress should have even more term
Well,
limits.
no, I agree 100% with you. And it would really take away a lot of the, right now somebody spoke up against, in his own party, one of the senators spoke up about something with Donald Trump. And now Donald Trump is calling him a rhino and he's going to primary him. I mean, first of all, the president of the United States should not be saying anything like that.
Mhm.
And it's just, it's like a bully. It's the worst I've ever seen it in my lifetime. And I'm going to be 54 in August, from a very political family.
Oh, I
And
thought you were only 34.
yeah, right.
Wow, you got me
Yeah.
on that one. I tell
I
you,
was-
it surprised me. You got me that one, boy.
I was 20 years ago. But anyway, but in Pennsylvania, right now too, same thing. We've got this budget going on, and the House Democrats passed the budget before the due date of June 30th. And the Senate they don't want to do anything. They don't want to fund schools. They don't want to raise the minimum wage. They don't want to legalize marijuana. I mean, right now, every single corner of this Commonwealth, bordering states, have recreational marijuana. We are losing hundreds of millions of dollars a year. I mean, my God, you could go to Phillipsburg, New Jersey, or 7 miles, down the road from me and go right into New Jersey. If you're in Allegheny County in Pittsburgh, you can go to any one of the bordering states. Go to Maryland in southern Pennsylvania. You can go to New York. It's just, it's nuts. And it's like they just like to be obstructionists instead of doing what 74% of Pennsylvanians want. Whether you want medical marijuana, whether you use marijuana or not, people say, I don't use it, I don't care, but everybody else is doing it. We're losing money. And you might as well, instead of having drug dealers on the street where you don't even know what you're getting and kids could be overdosing on fentanyl or whatever, at least this is regulated. Right. And you know that it's going to be safer. So anyway, all this type of stuff, it's just, let's just obstruct. And it's, let's not fund kids to go to school. Let's not fund preschool. Let's not let middle class and poor kids be able to go to college.
How about that?
It's horrible. I just don't even know what to say about it anymore. My voice is my vote. I'm very loud. I'm very proud about the way that I vote and how I feel and why
I got that jar right here. You can say whatever you want, dear. Okay.
No, but I mean,
because I'm going to tell you about the Republicans. To me, they're full of shit. They're full of ish. You understand? I listen to them on the radio. I listen to them, and I'm telling you that they're full of themselves, man. They don't even know where they spent money. When the big beautiful bill came around, you had Republicans signing the bill. They didn't even know what was in the bill.
They didn't even read it. Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of them. She admitted it.
And then after they read the bill, they disagreed with this and disagreed with that, but they still signed that bill.
Yep. Because
that's why it came down to J.D. Vance, and he had to end up being the deciding vote.
Yeah, he's scary too.
You see what he said about his wife? His wife was on the air at one time, and I think they may be getting divorced. And she said some things about him that was not nice.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, to say that he was not a good person. Let's put it like that. He didn't treat her very well as well. As he treats the way it said pretty much is that she's a servant. Like I said, I watched this. It was on a YouTube channel, so I don't know how great the source is, and it may be AI nowadays. Who knows, right? Everything is AI.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's not even AI. It's Obama's fault.
Well, I was just gonna say, do you notice everything that they do? He hates Obama so much, Trump, and I know why, because Obama was one of the best presidents. He'll go down as one of the best presidents of all time. But he hates him. And even the big, beautiful bill, right? I mean, he's stealing Build Back Better, by Joe Biden. He's so not original. Anyway, let's talk Pennsylvania, because what can we do in Pennsylvania? That is
Right.
like, that's the question.
Yeah, how are we going to protect ourselves?
Right.
I was going to tell you this here. Pre segregation, we had a lot of black towns and these little black outlets where the Black Wall Street, if you want to say,
Yeah.
and they didn't receive any state funding, they didn't receive any federal funding, but yet they were able to build and be able to even compete with the rest of the economy, and they were building really good, strong economies before it came in. But the point is that they didn't utilize the state, or they didn't rely on the federal government to build.
No. And if you served your country, in World War II and even, I believe, Vietnam, you didn't even, if you were a black male or female, you didn't even have access to the GI Bill.
But some sort of way, we still seem to make it through.
That's right.
With all the hardships, with all the things that we've gone through in this country, throughout history of this country, we still seem to come up on top. No matter how much they try to pull us down, we still seem to come up on top. Now, I say that because with the DEI and them trying to use that as a distraction or break us up, or use it as like a crime word, or they use the acronyms, and because most of the people don't even know what it means when you say DEI. So to them, when they politicize it, then they criminalize it, and then they demonize it. People don't want to hear DEI, so they'll shut down all these different programs. But we need DEI. We don't live in a melting pot. We live in a salad bowl, if you want to say. Okay,
right. But Kendall, But Kendall, I know a lot of young, black males that voted for Donald Trump this time around. And what I don't believe that they do know, and why would they? Because if you're following Donald Trump, he's not going to talk about it. Donald Trump's handpicked Supreme Court stopped affirmative action. So we are rolling back the clock. So it took hundreds of years to be able for a black male or female to be able to even get educated, and then have equal education, and then be able to, rent and own homes. And they still, to this day, that's why we have the equal opportunity, because you could not rent to somebody because they were black, right? And don't get me wrong, it still happens, but not like it did before, because it is against the federal law. So let's talk about DEI, and let's talk about, or not DEI, let's talk about affirmative action. We know that black people, brown people did not have the same opportunities as white people. No doubt about it. Goes back to slavery all the way up until even now, even today, okay? Even today, it's still not equitable.
Right.
But when affirmative action came in, by making sure that people of diverse backgrounds and cultures got hired, was a good thing for getting families out of poverty, for having a reason to fight hard to get educated and move up in the world, and to just get the shot, just to get the chance. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of the reasons that I am where I am, yes, I worked hard, but yes, I was cute and I was white. And it's just the way that it is, right? I'm not stupid. I graduated high school in 1988, and I have a law degree, and I worked hard, but I had more opportunities than, say, a black or brown woman who was smarter than me and beautiful. I still would have gotten an opportunity before them. And that is because of the education that I've learned through the years of reading and listening and growing up and being a part of the community and hearing stories. And, something as simple as, a lot of people don't know about red line districts, how these major cities that had thriving black communities, they put a major highway and just divided them, cut them off from sidewalks, healthcare, clean air, clean water, good schools, nice housing. This was all done purposely.
So here's my question. When did redlining stop?
I'm almost done. In the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So we have come very far trying to give equal opportunities and giving shout outs to those that busted their ass and fought for freedoms, just to have it rolled back with a stroke of a pen. And I don't know if the young Black or brown male knows this. I don't know if they know history, because they only know what they know. They only know that they were brought up in a nice house, or they were brought up with the same opportunities as everybody else. But I don't think they know how hard their generations before them fought to make sure that they could live in the neighborhood they live in, that they had access to a good public education, that they weren't segregated. I just don't know if young people today, I think they're so far removed from history that they don't realize what could happen again. And that's all I'm going to say.
Right. I just a comment from one of the viewers. They, like I was getting ready to say, I guess she was being facetious, or she was saying, when did redlining stop? Because as far as we're concerned, it hasn't stopped.
Right.
It's still redlining. You know, you got people that live over here of a certain ethnicity, and people that live over here of a certain ethnicity, and
right.
Even schools are still somewhat segregated.
No, and your viewer is 100% right, and absolutely. My point is that was everyday practices. Now, for example, there are protections. There are protections even, for lower income housing. If you are living in public assistance housing, they can't come and take your house away. They have to make sure, the federal government, that the families that live there have an equal place to live in the same school system. Things like that. I know it's minimal, and that goes for white, brown, Black, everybody. But
Absolutely.
These are protections that families with no means didn't have in years past.
All right. So, Tarah, thank you very much for being a guest and always being a friend of the show. I always appreciate you coming on. How's Mr. Johnson doing?
Mr. Johnson's doing good. I know I told you we have a dog that's not doing well, so we haven't been sleeping very well, and he's a big boy, so trying to pick him up to get him out. And I'm sure everyone that's listening to this has had a fur baby who has passed, and we have a 13-and-a-half-year-old lab, and it's getting to the end, and it's just hard. It's gut wrenching. So we're hanging in there.
Our prayers go out to you from the Empowerment Network, the PA Empowerment Network.
Well, thank you. And Kendall, just, a couple other things to let you know what we're doing in Harrisburg. And I think that this is really important for the Black and brown community. Black women's maternal health care is always been at risk. Black women have never had the same opportunities as white women when it came to access to health care. That's been proven in time, and it's no different here in Pennsylvania. And Black maternal health care, these moms lose their babies more so than white women. And we know it's because they don't get the prenatal care. They don't get the post care. They just don't get the care that they deserve and that they need, because there's not a lot of care out there, and the communities, don't have it. So I'm part of the Black Maternal Health Caucus, and we are trying, and we pass bills to make sure that Black women have access to healthcare, to make sure that they have blood pressure monitors, just all these different medical devices that they can take with them, so that they know that if they're not feeling right or feeling well, they don't have to say what's going on. They can try to help themselves until an ambulance can come, or things like that. It's just important. And I need to put that out there, because it's been unfair for hundreds of years. But since modern medicine, even, it's something that we really got to work on. And also, we passed the Crown Act, because nobody should be fired for the way that they wear their natural God-given hair. And you can still be fired today in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania if you wear your hair in a certain way, whether it's dreadlocks or whatever. People can say, you can't wear your hair like that. Well, that's your God-given natural hair, and you should be able to wear it however you want. So we also passed the Crown Act, which I think is important. And we're really trying to do social justice reform. And there's many bills out there, just young people going to jail for, nonviolent crimes. High propensity of them are Black and brown. And we are really trying, we've shed light on it. We have bills on it that this madness needs to stop. And I just think that it's important that your viewers know that everything we're trying to do, from raising the minimum wage to getting more attainable housing to making sure that healthcare is available to all. Yeah, I just think it's really important that I tell you what we passed in the House of Representatives, the Democratic House of Representatives, and we're just waiting for the Senate to act.
Well, there it is,
The
especially for those
Republican
people.
Senate.
Right. Well, there it is for anybody that's viewing this. They constantly say that the Democrats aren't doing anything. Well, here it is.
Oh,
Laid out right to you. As my young man would say, she put it where the ghost can get it. So yeah,
and that's
she's
only that's only 1/10 of what we've passed. So
right.
from medical marijuana, like I said, to affordable pre-K for working families, just there's so much. There's so much.
Right. And if anybody needs to contact you, if you just want to check the marquee, and you'll see that all her contact information is there. So all
Yep.
you got to do, either you can drop down to the office and say hey, or you can pick up the phone and give her a call.
And I have a fabulous staff, and my main office is in Stroudsburg Borough off of Main Street, but I also have satellite offices on Tuesdays and Thursdays in Delaware Township at their municipal building, and in Lehman Township in their municipal building, because, that's a hike if you're living in Bushkill or you're living up there in Lehman Township and Delaware Township to come all the way down. So we want to make it easy for people to have access to us.
Okay. I want to say hello to Miss Karen. She also has a show, and she has a very good show. She deals with health on a what do you call holistic point of view, and she's
Nice.
excellent. So she said hello to us. So I wanted to say hello to
Tell
her.
her I said hello, and thanks for
I
joining
most
the
certainly
show.
will. And thank you guys, and thank you much for tuning in. Again, Tarah, thank you for all that you do, and thank you for tuning in.
And
We
Kendall,
here at the right. I'm sorry.
no, Kendall, thank you. You do a lot. You do a lot of hard work out there in the community. You're everywhere. You're at events. You see what's going on. You're in the know. You pay attention. You ask really good questions, and keep up the good work. And thanks for having me tonight.
Again, thank you. We're gonna get ready to get out of here. So we like to say thank all the people and all the viewers that came in. As you can see, there's a phone number down at the bottom, and the telephone number here is 908-899-3089. So anytime you want to chime in on a show that we have, and you can always do so. We'll pick up, we'll listen to what you have to say, and then we'll put you on the air. And this way you can ask any one of the viewers, any one of the guests, or you can ask one of the hosts that's on our show. You can ask them a question. So, as my man Joe Madison would always say, he says everybody here can do something, and that's what we try to do here on this show as a community service. As always, be yourself, because everybody else is taken. So, thank you. Peace.